It's Dirty Politics Weekly on the Link, live on location. Every week, Chris and Sabrina will interview different political leaders out in the field to address environmental problems in our community. See firsthand how illegal dumps, littering, and other issues are plaguing our beautiful island and what's being done to help. Part of our Sustainability Matters campaign for Earth Month, in partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
Off a day for Sabrina Salas-Matanani, Chris Barnett, here link on location for Dirty Politics. Yep, for Dirty Politics, every week we're going out to illegal dumps. Now this is during Earth Month, but there's so many illegal dumps on Guam, we could do this weekly for a year without running out of places to go. It sucks, people are stupid. I'm so disgusted with our people. It's disgusting. And we're here at 1,000 Steps in Mangilao. Now 1,000 Steps, now if you Google things to do on Guam, I like to call it one of Guam's wonders, because people go to 1,000 Steps all the time. We're here with Mangilao Mayor Allan Ungacta. But yeah, so this is actually a Parks and Rec park. But because of the way it's situated, you come down like a Cascal Road, and then it ends up at a dead end here. And that makes it an ideal spot for stupid idiots to come and dump their stupid trash. And we've got all kinds of, what do you want? What do you want? You guys want white goods? We got white goods. We got refrigerators. What you need? What you need? You need some tires? We got tires. We got computers. We got beer. We got gaming chairs, guys. Pampers, beer. Mayor, we got it all down here. And this is just, it's disgusting, really. It really is.
Well, first of all, just like to acknowledge the countless people that effortlessly come to this area. Needless enough to say that they with so many things that they could be doing, they come and spend their time to clean up. And to see this now, and they're familiar with this area, that this is where the outcome is again. And even with the pandemic 1 year, this is the outcome of what's going on. So, like I said, thank you for all those nonprofit groups, everybody that contributed in one way or shape or form, and then just people in general that hike here and call the office, communicate with myself or EPA in regards to what's illegally being dumped down here, and us trying to address it. So it takes everyone's effort to come now and pull together resources and try to clean up this place as much as we can.
You're getting mad.
As you mentioned, though, it's a Parks and Recs park.
Right.
And you're cleaning it up.
Yeah, does Parks and
Recs come out here?
Well, everything is I think through a sign. Like I mentioned earlier, one of my constituents called me. Lo and behold, you guys give me a call. He says, Mayor, can you come up here, because arbitrarily somebody did it intentionally, dropped the load up there, because of course they don't have the means of coming down here, block the access that hampers the people that's going into this up to Rivera Street. So now that he calls me, I say, hey, let me go down and see what's going on. Lo and behold, come down, and this is the product.
Right, and so what had happened is just this morning we scheduled a shoot. Mayor Al said that someone dumped trash right at the front of the road here, blocking the access to this site. I mean, Mayor, it's one thing that they drive all the way in here to dump the trash. It's another when they can't even drive in here and they dump it right out there on the main road. But you sound pissed off about this.
Well, I got to be civil about it. But I'm really frustrated and disappointed. And like I said, even with just the people, like I said, that want to make a difference. And first off, the ones that are doing this, you know who you are. Let's just put it out there. You know who's doing this. You know what you've done. And this is a product of it. And this is our island. This is our community. This is what we're going to leave behind for our kids to see.
Yeah, this is what we're going to leave behind for our kids to see.
Do you like what you see? I don't like what I see.
It's just disgusting. Mayor, who's dumping here, though? Is it the people of Mangilao? Because if it is, I guess Mungie Town's not so mungie anymore.
Chris, it's very hard. These people get creative. You go to the bags, you're not going to find receipts. You're not going to find a pill, medicine bottle, or even a postal. These guys get creative, so they know what they're doing when they're dumping things like this out here in the, how would you say, it's supposed to be a scenic site.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a scenic site, but it's more of an eyesore.
There's a gate out there. Somebody locked the gate. When is it open? When is this area open?
Well, we've tried with with Mr. Ken Koki, partner up. In fact, he's the one that repaired the gates. We put padlocks, believe it or not, just as much as it was secured. They made the extra effort to break it and come in.
Now, Mayor, your boys, your staff out here cleaning up. This is a place that, you're right, we get a lot of nonprofits that come out to kind of clean it up. I don't know why Parks and Rec isn't out here cleaning it up. But, you know, for you and your staff to continuously come out here and be checking on it and to find the same thing every time, how frustrating is that?
Well, it gets frustrating and it's very challenging. But at the end of the day, it's our community, it's our island. If we all pull together one way or another and pitch in, I think we'll get it cleaned up as a little at a time. I mean, it's plaguing our island, let's be frank. It's plaguing our island, this trash issue.
Why do you think people are dumping their trash here?
So all sorts of reasons, perhaps. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they think if you go over there and nobody catches you, you get away, you save a few bucks. But that's not encouraging. And we shouldn't be encouraging any illegal activities like this.
What services do you provide if somebody says, hey, I need help throwing away this abandoned vehicle or this old refrigerator?
Or these Pampers?
Yeah, and they call you.
Well, we have SOP, of course, with regards to, like, even with the program. You come by, you fill out the form, or if you notice something on the side of the road, we're proactive. So if you see something on the side of the road, we go out, send the staff, the vice go out and take that item, hold it, and when we hold the money's out again, we can take these things to the proper place where they belong.
Right. Let's get Rich here. Rich from the Solid Waste Division. Come on up, Rich. Rich Diego here with Guam EPA Solid Waste Division. I know you're out there with Glenn a lot of times, but I mean, does it ever get old when you guys roll onto these sites where just people continuously dump illegally?
Well, Chris, we face these kind of things on a daily basis. It's great to see that more attention's being brought to these types of sites, and hopefully, you know, the lawmakers will open their eyes and start creating something more stiff for these violators.
When we talk about stiff, I'm assuming you're talking about the penalties, right?
Yeah.
So you think higher penalties?
Correct.
And let's talk about what Mayor said. Mayor said, oh, people can't afford to dump their trash, and we hear that a lot. I don't know, you being on the front line, is that even a good enough reason?
No, it's not a good reason. I think another possible way is to include the trash with their power bill, like they used to do in the old days. You know, make it mandatory for everybody to have trash. You're not going to stop illegal dumping, but it'll greatly minimize the sites that are around the island.
You said stiffer penalties, but what about enforcement and manpower, resources for Guam EPA? Because I think when we spoke with, what was his name, last week from your division?
Darian,
and he was saying that I think there's only 3 or 4 people going out and inspecting.
yeah, when we do these interviews, we have like 50% of the solid waste staff here from
Exactly.
Guam
Correct.
EPA.
There's only 2 of us.
Right,
If you
okay.
count my supervisor, that makes 3,
Okay,
which he's not supposed to be out here.
yeah. But he is, and you
But he
guys
is,
are
so,
every day.
You know, we can handle it. We got it, but, you know, more help will be greatly appreciated.
Glenn?
You know, there's other agencies that are also authorized to, you know, issue litter citations. There's 9 other agencies out there. I'm not going to call them out by name, but if everybody just did their part, that would be great. And, you know, really the reason why this debris is here is not because of the other agencies not doing their job or lack of. It's because of people who don't have respect for themselves and for the environment that's causing all this. So whenever volunteers come out here, you know, they're exposed to, you know, they're exposed to possible hepatitis, impetigo, which is the Guam sores. You have rat, you know, feces and urine that also cause disease. So there's a lot of different things that, you know, that will expose people who's trying to go look for, you know, aluminum, or, you know, people who are volunteering to clean up these sites. You know, basically, if a group is going to clean up the site, they're in, you know, the COVID PPE requirements, you know, go into place because of the type of waste that they're handling.
Let's get Senator Joanne Brown in here in the mix. And Senator Brown is, of course, a former administrator of Guam EPA. Senator Brown, I kind of wanted to talk about something that Glenn had said, is this is a Department of Parks and Rec property, right? But it does seem like they're not coming out here enough. You know, when we talk about crime, right? People say, oh, it's about police presence, it's about patrols. When people see the police and they're visible, maybe they're less likely to do that. Do we need to be coming out to these sites more often to show people that, I mean, it's one thing to say they don't give poop about it, but if our government's not coming out and doing the routine maintenance, I mean, we could almost say the same thing about some of these agencies that are supposed to be maintaining these sites.
Well, I'm sure, Parks and Rec the size of the Parks and Rec has decreased over the years. Guam EPA hasn't grown much since I was deputy 30 years ago. And actually, 1,000 Steps was constructed about 27 years ago in concurrence with the construction of the Mangilao golf course. And what you need to do, I mean, every department and agency, I'm sure, will say they don't have enough resources, but what you need to do is strategize and prioritize what you focus on, especially for Guam EPA in terms of enforcement. Everyone thinks, oh, we'll raise the fine for littering and that's going to resolve the problem. It hasn't done anything if you don't enforce. And so you have to do selective enforcement and prioritize. Maybe there's certain areas where you're actually going to have your personnel coming on a regular basis and doing enforcement. And I think very much once the public starts seeing the enforcement happen and know that there's a consequence to the action, then the behavior changes. But until we do that, we end up with situations like this in such a beautiful place. Can you imagine being a visitor coming here to Guam? And this is what you see. I mean, for us as residents, we're very disappointed when we see this because there's not anyone here who hasn't gone out and done community service to go cleaning up after other people in our community who've been totally irresponsible. And everyone says, oh, it's a money issue. No, I think it's a sense, it has an issue to do with pride and responsibility and personal responsibility to contribute to maintaining and keeping our island clean and safe. Nobody wants their children playing in this kind of nonsense that we're seeing here, and yet we see it happen, we see it getting worse. And then also we should look at technology and how we can use those resources to help maximize enforcement presence so that, if they come here at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe we're able to see who they are and see their license plate. There's no reason we can't look at those options. And once people start knowing, hey, you better be careful going up to that location because they're enforcing out there, then we won't see this. But if we don't do anything about it, if we accept this as acceptable, then we end up with this type of mess. And this is not representative of the quality of life that we certainly want in our community, and certainly not representative of the pride that we want to see for our people.
But Senator, you say enforcement and stepping up enforcement, but I think Rich kind of mentioned there's only 2 people that are out there doing these sorts of inspections. And so how do you step it up with only 2 people at Guam EPA?
Granted, but like I said, Guam EPA is no different than when I was a deputy. We had the same problems back then, but what we did was prioritize enforcement. And when people knew that there was a consequence, we could identify a location or key locations where you're seeing increased dumping. Like the area up in Simon Sanchez Road, we always hear about that. If people start knowing that enforcement action is going to happen, that consequences are going to be there, then more than likely they'll start shifting their behavior.
Glenn said that there are 9 other agencies in the government of Guam that can give tickets for illegal dumping. Why are we only talking to Guam EPA? Why do you think those 8 other agencies aren't doing their part to carry the load?
Well, who wants to be the bad guy, right? Who wants to be, especially the village mayor? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the village mayor has a lot of things he needs to do here in Mangilao, including cleaning up after people. I'm sure he wouldn't mind giving a ticket, but there's probably other agencies that they don't look at this as a priority. And even at Guam EPA, I mean, we had people like Greg Pangilinan at the time who gave the highest citations. He took pride in the number of citations that he issued, and we just need more of that, and not being afraid, are we offending anyone? This is offensive. When you see this sort of thing, this is offensive. And everyone says, oh, everyone doesn't have money to pay for their trash disposal. There are other ways, as the mayor mentioned, that you can go about getting assistance to deal with trash disposal. This is laziness. This is irresponsibility. This is lack of pride and caring in our island. And I don't think we should just roll over and say, oh, that's acceptable, and expect everyone else to clean up your mess. I mean, we weren't raised like this. We weren't raised like this. I mean, we wouldn't want this in our backyard or our front yard, and yet here it is. And I think in order to change that attitude, you just need to increase the education, but more importantly, right now, under these type of circumstances, increase the penalties, and then actually get assistance, even if it requires further assistance from law enforcement or the attorney, our AG's office, to start actually holding people responsible.
Glenn, let's get you back in here. Yeah, so let's talk about, because you do give the citations, right? But once you issue that citation, it enters the system. It's kind of out of your hands. What kind of results do you see when you give out these citations?
Well, with the current Judge Season, he's been really good about prosecuting a lot of these illegal dumpers and litterers. What becomes very difficult is when we come to a site like this and we go through the site and we don't find any evidence. So like I had mentioned, we had, prior to the COVID, we gone through the sites. Some of these bags are rebagged from us, and we refer the site for cleanup to, you know, the village mayor, or, yeah, in this case, I think we referred it to the village mayor. But, you know, in a lot of cases, you know, when I did a presentation once, this person commented, well, you know what, I issued like, you know, 100 citations for people parking in a disabled, handicapped parking area. And I said, there's a difference. We have to investigate the site. We have to look for evidence. And then we don't have the resources to go into DPW, into land management's database or DMV's database. So we work closely with those agencies to obtain the information we need to effectively issue that citation. And if the citations are you know, if the evidence is all there, then the judge, you know, will basically, you know, support the violation or citation.
All right, I'm just getting tired of doing this. Let's go and look at what we got here. We've got, I mean, people are taking car seats out of cars. There's dozens of tires here, household trash. We've got the bags that Guam EPA rebagged after looking through it. And the crazy thing about it is all this trash here, and they're saying there's not a single piece of evidence that will link this illegal dumping to anybody that they can give a ticket to. And, you know, Bree, I mean, God, we're doing this every week in Earth Month. I don't know if I can make it through Earth Month without having a freaking colossal meltdown.
Yeah, it's really, I'm just kind of sad and disgusted like you.
So there's really not much else to say until we get to the next dump. So thank you guys for joining us at Link Fam. Thank you, Senator Brown. Thank you, Guam EPA, for coming out, Mayor Ungacta, and most especially the mayor's staff. You know, the mayor came out and said, hey, thank you to all the nonprofits who come out and clean these areas. And unfortunately, I don't know if that is encouraging these illegal dumpers, because we keep cleaning up their mess, you know what I mean? And we're getting tired of it. So thank you guys again for joining us at Dirty Politics. For Sabrina Salas-Mantanani, my name is Chris Hesta.
It's Dirty Politics Weekly on the Link, live on location. Every week, Chris and Sabrina will interview different political leaders out in the field to address environmental problems in our community. See firsthand how illegal dumps, littering, and other issues are plaguing our beautiful island, and what's being done to help. Part of our Sustainability Matters campaign for Earth Month, in partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.